There was a man sitting in the corner of the room with a mask on. I believe he said he was pleasuring himself. And he said the guy was Diddy.
All right, y'all, we got a story, an update on the Diddy story. Somebody says they may have met with one of the escorts who Diddy hired. So we're going to listen to this video and y'all let me know what y'all think about his story. I'll tell you why I like the story, but let's get into it.
So you may have seen the news today that a lawsuit was filed by Sean Combs, Diddy's former girlfriend, Cassie. And, well, I actually have a crazy story about it. Now, I want to preface this by telling you that this is just a conversation that I had in real life that is just a complete happenstance. I cannot validate or verify that any of this information is true. I have no evidence. This was just a complete chance, random encounter that I had at an airport in Las Vegas, probably around 10 years ago. So take my story with a grain of salt, but here it is. Probably somewhere around 10 years ago, I think it was about 2012 or 2013, I was in the Las Vegas airport and I had a really early flight. It was probably something like 7 or 8 in the morning, and obviously you go to Vegas, you party, and I was looking rough, to say the least. My flight was delayed back to South Florida, and I was sitting there clearly not doing well. There was a huge, jacked dude sitting next to me in the airport waiting area, and when we found out that our flight had gotten delayed, we both kind of got to talking. He said something along the lines of like, dude, you look rough, looks like you're struggling. I was like, yeah, I'm here partying. We got to talking about what we do and whatnot to pass the time. And he told me that he is a male escort. Naturally, I was like, dope. I had never met anybody that's a male escort. Tell me everything. He told me that he worked for a company called Cowboys for Angels. And he said that there was actually a show about it on Showtime, a reality show that documented the lives of male escorts. I don't know if he specifically was on the show, but some of the people that he worked with at Cowboys for Angels was on the show. He had told me that he was out there for the weekend, that he was basically spent the weekend with a person that had some money out in Vegas. I think it was an older lady. And I was like, so are you always escorting for like unattractive women or like overweight women or, older women or something like that? Because the guy had to be, I would say, late 20s, maybe early 30s. He was probably 6'4", absolutely shredded, white dude. In fact, I had seen him at the gym before, and I saw him at the gym after, but I don't think we ever spoke again, but I had noticed him at the gym. So he was actually like, no, actually sometimes it's supermodels and super beautiful young women. I was like, how is that possible? So anyways, after a few minutes, I was like, what is the most insane story that you could tell me? And he told me about a time that he got hired really late night to go down to Star Island or South Beach. I think it was Star Island in Miami for a job. He said that this particular job paid quite a bit more money than a standard job of its type did. I don't remember the specifics, but it was something along the lines of like, it was like an hour-long job and it was thousands of dollars. And it was like 1 a.m, but the money was too good, so he took it. Some of the details are hazy, but basically he said that he got to this huge mansion on Star Island and that the instructions of the job were to not speak at all. And the client was undisclosed, but he said that he could tell whose house it was when he got there. I guess because of either some insignias or some memorabilia around the property. Not sure if it was inside or outside. Maybe it was pictures of him or his family inside. But he said something along the lines of he went into a dark room with a bed in the middle and there was an absolutely stunning, gorgeous, I think he referred to as black chick. And he said that while he did the deed with her, there was a man sitting in the corner of the room with a mask on. I believe he said he was pleasuring himself. And he said the guy was Diddy. So considering the salacious details of this lawsuit, now there are some differences because this dude was a white guy. I know that the lawsuit alleges that she was searching for a specific type of guy. I also don't know if this girl specifically, Cassie, was the girl that he was talking about in this story. Now again, I don't know, but this is a very weird story, a very strange chance encounter. I don't know if the girl was the same girl. I know that he had said that the guy was wearing a mask, but he could tell that it was Diddy. He said that he could tell that it was his house. I believe that he has a house down on Star Island. Now this was about 10 years ago or so. Technically, I could check my records to find specifically when exactly it was. So I don't know if it was this girl, but when I saw this lawsuit, I was like, that's insane because I had that story told to me so many years ago, and it seemed to align in, at the very least, some ways with the details of that lawsuit. So, if the allegations against this man are true, he's obviously a scumbag, and, you know, I don't know what, if anything, this story will do, but I suppose it's worth telling because it's extremely strange that I would have such an encounter, and then on top of that, I would have at the very least, a small audience to share it. So, do you want that information? Again, I do not know how much of this, if any of it is true. I can't validate any of it. It's just a story that was told to me at an airport in Las Vegas. And if all that stuff is true, I hope that she sees justice for what seems like the bad things that he allegedly did.
Woo! Okay, so that gentleman's name is Bobby Sauce, and I'm gonna put the link to his original video in the comments. Whoa! What do y'all think about that story? What do y'all think? And I'll tell you what I think. I like the way that he qualified and said that I don't know if this is true, but I am telling you that I was at the airport and I met somebody who told me this many years ago. And he said could it be coincidence that what he was told aligns with the allegations in the lawsuits? Now, this man, I checked out his Twitter, I checked out his YouTube. He does not have a big platform. I don't know if he's on TikTok. But this video has not gone viral. And I don't see why he would make up this story. He just doesn't appear to have any bone in this fight. I don't see why he would make this story up. Could it be a fake story? Absolutely. Absolutely. But if we're going to have this conversation, I believe that nothing is off the table in terms of commentary, right? Because all of these are just allegations. And this just adds a little seasoning to the gumbo because it sounds believable. This is a believable story. If the gentleman said that he's an escort, I looked up the company, Cowboys for Angels, or something like that. He said that the gentleman was 6'4" and very muscular. And he was talking about what he did. Airport conversation. I've been in airport conversations, talking to random people. Flight got delayed. You just start talking. Is an escort. If I met an escort, I would be like, wow, I wonder what work is like for you. It is not far-fetched for somebody to be curious about the work of a male escort. And so they get to talking, according to the story. And, he says that a lot of some of the clients are very attractive younger women, in addition to some of the older women. And he gives this story about a late night call where he hops on a flight and pulls up to a mansion that had some insignia or something that clearly led this gentleman to believe that he was at Diddy's house. And that in this room, there was a gentleman in the corner with a mask on, and he said it was Diddy. And he said there was a very beautiful black woman on the bed. Now, Cassie does not present as a black woman. She has black in her. But I don't care what you say. She does not present as a sister, right? I didn't even know she had black in her, right? Until I looked up her background, right? She's mixed with a lot of things. So maybe that wasn't Cassie. But the story is that this gentleman met an male escort at the airport, and the male escort told a story about a job where he had to go to somewhere in the middle of the night because the money was good, and it was what he believed to have been Diddy's house, and he believes that Diddy was in the corner watching. And this aligns with, if you read the complaint, you got to read it. If you read it, it aligns with the way they described these freak offs. That's what they called them, FOs, freak offs. This is what Diddy was having. Wow, woo, it's getting spicy. Let me know what y'all think. This is what I think. I believe that if the allegations are true, there are a number of people who were hired to perform these acts. I believe that somebody is going to start talking and say, hey, I was one of those guys. I believe that for them to realize that they were actually participating in something very cruel, I believe that somebody is going to raise their hands and say, I did not know that she was being forced to participate in this. And I would like to raise my hand and say that I worked for this company, and on this date and time, I flew to this location, and I was in this room with this woman, and it happened. That's what I believe. I think they're going to start coming out. That's what I believe. Believing is not knowing. Believing is not knowing. But that's what I believe, right? It's the poor black man. We have a lot to discuss about this lawsuit, and I'm going to keep bringing you information as information becomes available. It's the poor black man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Make sure you hit that like button if you want to support the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as I continue to bring out this information. Poor black man, I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.